Welcome back to Living with a Classic, and we're here with this really lovely XJC. Well, technically it's not. It's a Daimler. It's a Daimler coupe, and absolutely lovely 6-cylinder car. And yes, we have a horse outside. It's a little bit lonely because his friend's away. But it is right-hand drive. It's a good friend of mine, the guy who owned the Green Series 1 that was in the fire, and that engine went into my daily driver. This is his project he picked up afterwards. However, he's done a lot to it, and there's a lot planned with this car. So it is almost ready to be back on the road. However, he wants it to be left-hand drive. So I said, sure, I'll help you out with that. He's picked up all the parts. We'll go through that in a little bit. So this is going to be the start of that series. I'm not going to do it as detailed as the XJS series. XJS is almost back together. I'm waiting on just one little thing, but I need to start with this one because it has a deadline, which is the same as the XJS. It needs to be ready for the summer meet for the Swedish Jag Club. However, I really want to get started and take this apart and make sure I'm not missing any parts or anything, just because I did not order the parts, even though we've talked the whole time, me and the owner, but still. And then once this thing is left-hand drive, during the winter, he has picked up a original manual transmission with overdrive and everything. So it's going to be manual swapped as well. So when this thing is done, it will be one special Daimler coupe. But let me show you some of the parts and the plan. And today I really just want to gut the interior. I think that's what I'm going to do. Dashes and everything is a lot quicker to remove on XJs and XJSs. There's a lot more space. So it's an easier job to do on an XJ compared to an XJS, but still it is a pretty big job. So what is involved? Well, quite a bit. First of all, you need a different dash. He picked one up and it's been restored. So it has a lovely new veneer and all that looks really, really good. So that is ready to go. I do have a different steering column for it, but I think I'm going to see if we'll use this one or the other one, depending on which one's in best shape. We do have pedals and the pedal box we have from a Series 1. So we're going to be using that. So it's going to be a little bit mixed match of some parts. This is because the brake servo and the master cylinder on the Series 1 was rebuilt like 6 months before that car was destroyed. So the front half of that car is in excellent shape. So we're going to use that. Technically, you can move this pedal box over and just bend the pedals a little bit. But since that's all rebuilt, we're going to use it. A bracket needs to be changed here for the throttle cable and everything like that, so that is going to be changed. I do have a wiring harness that he picked up, so we're going to probably use the wiring harness, but I'm going to see how complete this harness is, because I don't see the fuse boxes, but we're going to open that one up a little bit later, see how that looks. And yeah, there's a spare steering column. So really, what I'm going to start to do is I'm going to remove the wheel. I'm just going to remove the dash top, just some screws here. You've seen me remove this whole thing when we took a heater box out before. They're quite simple to remove, these dashes. And there's just one big multi-cable really for the instruments, or two of them. So I'll remove that and then I'll update you guys when that's off and we'll go from there. It's a little while later and I have the dash out. Got all the parts here, I need to organize them. But what I've done just to make things easier is whenever I took something off, any of the bolts or anything are just taped on there with masking tape. So it's easy to get back together. However, yeah, I found a couple of interesting things. Lots of extra cables and things. So that will be removed and brought back to stock. There's some switch here, which I think did some lighting thing. I'm not really sure. Steering column is almost out. It's loose down there, but it's just pinched on there. So I need to get in there, the pry bar, and open that up a bit. This is the support for the steering rack, and it's loose. It's held in place there. And then there are two nuts up here. Let me show you guys. Hard for you to see that. I've got a light, but there's two down there. One goes through the mounting for the pedal assembly, So I think I need to loosen up the pedal assembly to get the other one out, because it's loose, but it's just sort of being pinched in place. But things are moving along nicely. What I think I want to do next is probably remove the pedal assembly, remove the battery and the battery tray, just so I have, you know, the same hole on both sides. Then I need to see if the battery tray will move over, and if that will, then I can grab the pedal assembly from the other car a little bit later and move that over. We're gonna open up the that plastic package of the wiring loom that the customer bought and just have a look. I have a couple of things I'm wondering. First of all, is there a fuse box there? And is there a difference between a wiring loom from an AC car and a non-AC car? I think there should be, at least because the fuse boxes are a little bit different on them. You have more powerful fuses and more powerful wiring going to the fans on an AC car. This is a non-AC car. So if we do have an AC harness, I don't think it's going to be bad. It's just going to mean that I will put the correct fuses in it, of course, but I think we'll just have thicker wiring going to the blower motors, because you have more powerful blower motors on an AC car. Otherwise, yeah, pretty straightforward. Center console still in here. I'm gonna remove that just to make more room. Gonna remove some of the carpets and things, but the heater box can stay in place. Mostly you have a small bit of the harness going behind here, but I think I can sort of snake it out of here. Otherwise I just need to loosen the heater box a little bit, slide it back a tiny bit. But so far things are going well. But let me grab the wiring loom. We'll have a look at that and compare it to this one. In the box, or in the bag, I mean, I found 3 harnesses. Those 2 are for the center console. Should not need those because I'm not doing anything with the center console, and I think the plugs are in the same place, but we'll figure that out. I have looked at one thing. The fuse boxes are the same as present, so that's really good, and I verified that yes, this is a left-hand drive harness. It's in pretty good shape. One little scotch lock there, I can do something about that. I really hate these. They just make me think of, you know, 1980s and 90s alarms. Hate them. Other than that, looking pretty good. I think I found one broken connector. One thing that's real interesting is this is where the relay goes for the wipers. I guess someone's had issues with that and just decided to wire it. So that's interesting. I hope the plug is in good shape, and then we'll just use the relay from this car. Here's an interesting device in case you don't know. This is what the inertia switch looks like. If you don't know what that is, it's on the passenger side of your XJ. So on the left-hand drive, it's on the right side. On the right-hand drive, it's on the left side. If you're in an accident, this is supposed to pop up, and that cuts power to the fuel pumps. And I think I'm fueling some cars. I think my XJ12, it cuts ignition as well. I'm not sure exactly on the XJ6. So I can demonstrate how it works like this. So you're driving along and bam, you're in an accident. That pops up, pop it back down. Everything works again. So things are looking pretty good. The whole harness needs to come out, and I think I'm going to remove a couple more things to make my life easier. I might remove the blower motor just to make install of the pedal assembly easier. I haven't decided about that yet. I'm going to see that once I remove the battery and the battery hold down tray, just see what it looks like. Pull the carpet back a little bit. Let me shine the light for you guys. Of course, there is sound deadening there. I need to get out of there or cut a little bit so I can reuse it. Other than that, things have gone really well, I think, for the first couple hours working on this. We're going to try and move the wipers over as well. Hopefully, I know that the motors are the same on both sides, but I hope that that mechanism, the rod going through there, that I can flip that over to the other side because I don't have another one. So that will be interesting as well. Other than that, I think the heater box needs to move back a little bit to get the harness out of the way because part of it goes behind it. but that's not a big deal. Just drain coolant, remove 2 coolant lines, 2 bolts, and it pulls back. But yeah, I have a little bit left to do. I'm going to do some of this off camera, and then you have an update video in the next video on this car, where hopefully this harness is out of here, and hopefully starting to get the other one back in. I'll remove the center console so I can get the heater out. But yeah, it is of course a massive project, but I think we're making really good progress so far. This was sort of the big thing, just having a look at all the parts, making sure I have everything, and hopefully everything I have is gonna fit. Anyways, that is it for part 1. Like I said, this series won't be as detailed as the other one because it's very similar, and we've done a lot on this channel before of ripping these dashes in and out. I will be filming, some of the small things if I find something that, is difficult or something, but we've been through a lot of this before. I'm going to continue ripping out the harness, and in the next video, I think you'll see me starting to put things back together, and hopefully making this, once again, be a car. Well, I mean, we won't get that far in the next video, but at least getting things in the correct place, maybe getting the pedal box in, things like that. It just, makes it feel like at least I'm making some sort of progress. Anyways, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with friends. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. It really does help out a lot. Until next time, I'm Adam. This is Living with the Classic. I'll see you soon.